Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Sarah.
And today we're going to tell you how we felt about Frozen, the brand new movie from Disney, which I got to tell you, Sarah, when I saw the previews for this initially with the teaser trailer they did with the snowman and the reindeer, I expected this to be like an Ice Age kind of thing. Like,
oh, yeah.
Because the thing is, they advertised those movies like that too. Like the first Ice Age movie had a trailer with just a silent thing that was kind of a silly silent short film thing. Yeah. They did that with this. I did not expect this like epic scale old school Disney musical from this.
No, I didn't expect that either.
No idea that's what we were walking into. Frankly, until I watched an Aaron Dicer review of it the other day. I didn't even know that it had songs in it.
Yeah.
And when he opens his review and he says, if you thought the days of great Disney musicals were over, think again. And I'm like, holy crap, really? That's not what I expected. I didn't expect princesses and stuff. I had no idea. I didn't know it was based on a fairy tale. So anyway, this is based, if you don't know, and it's been out for a little bit now, on the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, The Snow Queen, which I am not familiar with.
And I've read, but it's been years, so I don't even remember the plot of it.
And the basic premise is that you've got two princesses. You've got two sister princesses. One was born with the fantastic power of being able to control the weather to create snow and ice. And that's all she's able to do. She's basically Iceman on a grand, huge scale, except that it's a magical power and not a mutant power. And so her parents try to help her control this power, but she's never able to fully control it. So they shut the whole kingdom down to everyone, and they won't, or not the kingdom, but the castle, to the kingdom, and they won't open it up and let anybody in for a long time. And so these two sisters that grew up together, and when they were little girls, were like really close. They ultimately grow up drifting apart real hard because she is forced by her parents to kind of shut the door and not let anybody in for fear of hurting them. So then you fast forward to them as adults, and they open the doors for a day. She ends up using her powers on accident, and terrible things happen, and she gets exiled, and then the plot commences. So anyway, Sarah, what did you think about Frozen?
Well, I felt like I was watching an old school Disney fairy tale with the Pixar finesse.
Oh, that's a great way to put it, yeah.
Yeah. I felt, just like it was old school Disney. Fairy tale, like you said, fairy tale princesses, you name it. You got the handsome prince in it, although a little bit of a twist there.
Yep.
I mean, you've got love and romance and adventure and magic and the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's all there. The music. And then at the same time, you get the level of storytelling and the level of detail and the gorgeous imagery that we've come to expect from Pixar films. And so now we're actually getting that in Disney movies, and it's a great combination. And it really, and with the 3D animation that they're using now, it really modernizes the spectacle of the movie. And I enjoyed it in a way I haven't enjoyed a Disney film in a good long time. And I've missed several that they've come out with over the past few years, but I really thoroughly enjoyed myself with this one. And then it just gave it a new twist. It breathed new life into the Disney franchise.
What was your best thing, worst thing?
My best thing was, I would say, just the level of detail and the gorgeous images. That, I mean, I just could not stop looking at this film. It was just a gorgeous film. Mm-hmm. Decorations, the sets, the ice, just the things that they did with the ice was just amazing. I mean, everything. It just looked great. Thing I didn't like so much, there was only one song. And there's always one song, you know?
Yeah.
And so there was one song in this movie that just didn't do. It fell flat for me. I didn't like it very much. It was okay.
And we talked about this a little bit beforehand. I had the exact same song in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something that, there are a lot of musicals where there's a song where you just fast forward
it's
through
grating on you.
Yeah, I didn't have that with this.
The Mother song from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, I until the last time we watched that together,
you hadn't seen it.
I hadn't seen the first 20 minutes of that film because I would just start it at the Willy Wonka factory because I hated the first song so much. But
oh yeah, I know you hated the first song.
Yeah,
and then I like that song, but the Mother song is just like pointless. It does nothing to.
The Mother song is horrible, and then I didn't like the Grandpa Joe song really either. So
see, I like that song.
But I did like Candyman, but so yeah, I love the film. And yeah, I don't want to say too much because you need to watch it. Watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about because it's just a great film all around. I can't say I was smiling the whole time because one of the great things that I thought about this film was that you really had a roller coaster of emotions where it was a very fun film throughout. It got to some, I don't even want to say dark places.
It's not super heavy or anything.
It got to some dark places for the characters.
Yeah, that's right.
But, I mean, there were emotional times, but I never felt like the movie was dark at any point.
But what you're saying is you were invested enough with these characters and you cared enough about them that there were places where if you're captivated, it wouldn't be appropriate for you to have a huge smile on your face.
Yeah, you really feel for these characters and what they're going through.
Yeah.
And yet you're just enjoying yourself the entire time. It's really an escape from reality is how I found it.
Well, for the sake of ceremony, you should flip your sign.
Oh. Let's see, which am I gonna? Oh, yeah, I'm definitely feeling this one. I highly recommend it. Go see it, even if you don't like Disney. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like one that you've seen in a while. I have to see this a couple more times before I definitely say go one way or another. But I'm close to thinking that this is my favorite Disney film.
Is it just because is it mostly the aesthetic, or is it the characterization of those characters?
It's the aesthetic, it's the setting, it's the characters, it's the plot, it's the music. I mean, it nailed it all for me. It really did, and you just can't go wrong with what they started with.
Yeah.
Hans Christian Andersen, I've always thought I prefer Grimm fairy tales, but Hans Christian Andersen seems to make for better movies when you adapt fairy tales for movies. And I mean, I love the Scandinavian style, and it was all there for me.
Sarah, this movie made me feel like suddenly winter is my favorite season. But alternately, I would say I felt genuinely enchanted, which is not what I expected to come away with this at all. I gotta say, this has gotta be the best Disney musical I've seen since maybe Lion King. I'm not sure that. I'm trying to think. I don't dislike Mulan like you do. That's one I go to that I kind of like. But as far as the kind of later '90s ones, but musical wise, I don't know if there's one past Lion King. Now there are several before that I like more, and I would also as far as atmosphere, I'm pitting this one up against Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And not just because they both take place at winter, but and also because they're two very different atmospheres, but dripping with it. Yeah. Like you look at Beauty and the Beast, and that was a movie that like the gothicness of it hit me in a certain way, and it had this really distinct tone. This has that in spades. Yes. But what's really cool about it is while it's a consistent tone, it has appropriate tonal shifts. And what I mean by that is we can have these really lush, lavish, beautiful, kind of regal kinds of things, both with ice and without ice. also have moments where it's more like dark and brooding in like the woods and the forest of the. I feel maybe what I'm saying is we hit every mood of winter.
Yeah.
Which is neat. But then, especially with the snowman. Ironically, and again, I'm with you. I don't want to give too much away, but there's some kind of light and chipper stuff where we get away from the winter thing, and we do other things. So yeah, God, I'm gonna have to be cryptic. I don't want to give too much away. But anyway, so I was floored.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah. I did not expect going into something like this. Well, I didn't know what to expect going into it.
Yeah. I think potentially my favorite thing about this movie, besides the lavishness of it, besides, and I love how you put it, that this looks as good as any Pixar movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It really is beautiful. Yeah. But and I'm not arguing with you. I like that you said. I agree with what you said about how the storytelling is on par with Pixar, but it's very different from Pixar storytelling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is old school Disney storytelling. When you watch this movie, especially if you're our age or older, and you grew up with Disney films in the 80s or 90s or even before that with these kind of musicals, you will recognize what they're doing with this. But they turn some stuff on its head. There are a couple of huge places where, especially with like the love story and with the villain plot and stuff like that, where you'll think, okay, I'm watching a Disney movie, so clearly they're going this way, and then they're not doing that. I was surprised. I thought they did a great job of subverting my expectations. That's maybe my favorite thing. Along with that, the message, and there's a couple that are intertwined, but there is a great coming of age story in this with the sister who I think what is her name?
Anna, I think.
Yeah, who I think is our main protagonist in this. We have multiple protagonists. There are definitely several characters who get good, clear character arcs, and I think solid stories. Personal internal conflicts, but she, I think, is our anchor point. She is the window into the movie for the audience, and also she's the most likable character. She's the most relatable character, and I thought it was really cool to have a Disney princess that down to earth. Yeah, I loved that.
She's the spunky character.
She's spunky, and she doesn't feel like a princess. Like she doesn't belong in that world, but she does belong. I like that a lot. And what I really enjoyed with her character, and you got dual character arcs with her and her superpowered sister, but done in different ways. With the superpowered sister, it's done with learning to control a power. With her, it's about learning how to not jump the gun too fast on everything. Both of these things are about learning to control your emotions and not have your emotions control you. I think it's a great message for children, and I think that it spoke to me. So I was very impressed with it. The only thing I would point to as besides, and I agree with what you said, so I'll go with something else. Yeah, there was a song I didn't care for. I would, and it's funny because I mentioned that I liked that I like this as a musical. I do think it might have worked okay without songs. But I liked most of them. Yeah. I think the thing that I would really point to that I resisted, and this did not permeate throughout the whole thing, where there were a couple of instances where I felt like the language and vernacular was too contemporary. There were, would you agree with that?
Yeah, in a couple places, like you said.
It's not big, but, and it is a very contemporary movie. Like there are places where these characters will say like. Yeah. You know, like I like this, you know, or I mean, like I'm saying, like right now. Yeah. There are places where characters say that and things like it, but I think there's some stuff that's a little too like modern day urban that took me out a bit.
Yeah, but not too many. Not like
no, not a ton.
Yeah, not like you might think there'd be in a modern film, but still, for what it was putting you in such a place that when the couple of references that they had, it just kind of...
Well, again, it's not references, it's language for me. Yeah. And I can't begrudge it too much for that, because at least it doesn't come right out and do pop culture references. Yeah. This isn't like the genie from Aladdin.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not dogging that movie for doing that, because in that context it was kind of okay, because you had this, like, supernatural genie who maybe he's been in the future, I don't know.
Sure he has.
And I always liked I always liked the idea in that movie, by the way, where nobody knows what he's talking about. That's why it worked. Nobody knew what the heck he was talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, we don't have anything like that in this, so that's okay. It's a world of its own, so the fact that these characters kind of talk this way sometimes is working okay, but there's just a couple places where I think the reason it irritated me was that it was, like, really, really grammatically incorrect things that I just don't love being in movies for kids. That's all I'm talking about. But anyway, like, double negatives was the big one for me. That I resist that. But anyway, clearly I'm feeling it. This is one of the best movies I've seen this year.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. This is right on par with Monsters University for movies that if you have kids and you didn't take them to see it in the theater, it's a crime. You need to take your kids to this movie.
Yeah.
And nothing is gonna put you in a holiday spirit better than this movie.
I agree. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for Christmas. I'm actually... I can't say I'm ready for cold, but I'm okay. I'm okay with the idea of more snow now, you know? But...
there's this great sense of wonder to this movie, and you know, it captures your imagination in the way you remember Disney movies doing that.
Yes.
And that's what's so fantastic about it.
Yeah, they did a really great job with like you said, capturing that feel that the old movies used to have.
You've got with the snowman. I'll mention a couple other things real quick. With the snowman, you've got your kind of comic relief character, and like you do with a lot of these movies. And he's not super irritating. I kind of expected him to be when he first popped up, and you know, I came to terms with him quick, and then I started to really like him. As soon as he got a song, he was great.
Yeah, that song was great.
Well, that told you everything you needed to know about him. As soon as we got that, and I got him, you know. He, in a lot of ways, he's kind of the mater of this movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, anything else you wanted to bring up?
The cartoon at the beginning.
Yeah. I was flabbergasted by that.
That was ingenious.
So we won't give too much away about this, and we won't do a full review on this, but they do a cartoon before the movie, and I love that Disney's doing this now, not just Pixar, and it's a Mickey Mouse cartoon. And it's done partially in the style of the earliest Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Very early Mickey Mouse cartoons.
I mean, we're talking like
black and white Steamboat.
We're talking Steamboat Willie era, yeah. And at first, and I almost feel bad even giving this away, but it would be silly for us to act like we're, you know, going to give props for this thing if it was an old cartoon. I thought we were watching an old cartoon at first. Did you?
Actually, I figured out pretty quickly that it wasn't. But
how did you know? Because I'm not super familiar with. I mean, I've seen some of them, but
I've seen quite a few of them.
Have you seen enough to know if I don't recognize it, it's new?
Not well, partially.
Okay.
I've seen enough of them, but there's just there were a couple different stylistic things that were just off just enough where I could tell they wouldn't have made that particular. They wouldn't have animated that particular thing back then.
Okay.
But they might if they were homaging something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I thought it was really accurate, but I don't know those as well as you, clearly.
Yeah.
The thing that threw me off at first was aspect ratio. Because it's like, it's in the center of the screen and only taking up about like a third or a fourth of the screen, and I was like, and I was thinking, did they not take up the full screen back then? And then we won't give away why, but there's a cool reason for it. And I thought really it was incredibly creative and inventive. I've not seen anything that inventive in a long time. And again, I want to talk more about it, but I shouldn't, because I don't want to give away what they did.
What they did was so great and so awesome, and you have to be surprised by it. I really think you do.
But anyway, that was amazing. The whole experience was great.
Yeah.
And anyway, so we are super recommending this one, and I'm gonna be impressed to see Disney try to outdo themselves on this, because I feel like if they do another one next year that is anything like to the caliber of this, we could be in a new you know, silver or golden age of music. And here's the big thing I meant to mention. Two things that I meant to say earlier just came to my mind. Let me briefly say these. One thing I should have made a list. One of them is I didn't think, I was skeptical. Or at least I would have been had I gone in knowing how big this movie was going to be. I would have been skeptical that you could do an old school Disney musical in 3D animation and it make me feel the way those did. And what you said earlier is absolutely right. That with the detail and the visual depth, it did add a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's like surpassing those, like, oh, now I need to see the 3D Little Mermaid. I don't mean that. I'm just saying that it did add a lot. Yeah. I'm having a hard time imagining this movie in 2D.
Yeah.
And it totally worked. It needed to be done the way they did it, or at least they've convinced me of that. That's great. The other thing is, and this is neither here nor there, but I really hope I get to see one of these days Frozen on Ice, because...
That makes perfect sense.
They have now made, because I went to a few years ago. I went to Monsters Incorporated on Ice, and it was really fun. Like I never really wanted to go to one of those ice shows. My mother invited me. I went with my siblings. It was great. You know, it was really fun. And so the first thing I thought, like half an hour into this movie, I thought, we've got to have Frozen on Ice.
Frozen on Ice.
I also hope they find a way to not have to call it that, but you know that you're wearing ice skates. You think
you have to call
Frozen
it Frozen on
Ice. Yeah, but I mean, it's made for that. Like this is.
Yeah.
I think they would break the bank if they did that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think you put that out there, everyone will show up to it.
I don't know if you had this. I actually spent a lot of this movie thinking that this could make a really cool elaborate stage show.
I didn't think of it, but...
A lot of the time when I see musicals that are films, I will wonder how you would do it on stage, because they're theatrical. They come from that mold, you know. I mean, when you listen to the vocals with a lot of these songs, you're hearing people that sound like they're on Broadway. You know what I mean? Like this is the tradition that this stuff comes out of.
Yeah.
So when you and I mean like a lot of our classic musicals on film came from stage shows, but then you have these that were you know, envisioned this way, of course.
Yeah.
But then a lot of them have become stage shows, not just ice shows. I mean, you had like Lion King was a Broadway play, and it was the Disney Lion King, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, I will say that the opening song of this reminded me a little bit of Lion King, but it wasn't like a straight up rip. You know, it was.
Yeah.
In fact, it was one of the best songs in the movie. I was really impressed with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I could go on. It's really, really good. It's really solid.
Yeah.
And I think, like, Disney princesses are back after this, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think Disney films are back, at least for me. I mean, I'm going to be much more likely to go to the next Disney film, the Disney musical that they put out, if... Having seen this.
Now, I will say that a lot of people said Tangled was really good. I missed it.
Well, now I'm thinking about going back and watching it.
Yeah.
Just to compare, if nothing else. So.
Well, anyway, everybody, thanks as always for watching us review a new movie. Sarah, I'm glad we got to do this together, and
Absolutely.
that was a really good experience. I'm glad we went.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you again next week with a new movie review. Probably Brandon and I will be back to you with something. I don't know what exactly is coming out, so I don't have a list here. So anyway, we'll do something for you. And until then, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Sarah.
See you later.